I have soil raining down on my head and raining down on all my plants. Is that too cool? Soil? I don't think we can talk enough about soil, especially making our own, because soil could be the most expensive part of your garden. And if you do it right, it could cost you nothing, and yet you'll grow the best food. Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I've got my scissors. You know what I'm doing today? Thought I might share it with you. I am sitting on a stool and I'm going through some of my plants. And I'm going to trim off everything I don't need. Like here's some old squash leaves. You know, we all do this, and some of you may be under snow, so you may not be able to do this until the snow starts to melt, but that's okay. But what I'm going to do here in Southern California is start pulling all this off. And I'll sit down and clear all that out, and I'm going to have buckets of this stuff. Now, I don't have to do anything with it. Here's another one. Here's a dish pan I'm going to grow in. And you can do this in totes, of course, too. All you have to do is pile it in. Now, this has drainage holes, so it will, when it gets rained on, go ahead and drain out. But I don't have to do anything else. And what I'm going to end up with in this is free soil. And come spring, when I am ready to plant, I can just top that. By then, being rained on and wet, it's going to turn into kind of a, well, it's going to look like a rotten mess. It's just going to go down. It's going to kind of look, dark, but that's okay, because that is exactly what your plants want. All these leaves coming off of, let's say, the eggplant, coming off of squash, coming off of whatever you've got, even coming off of trees above your head. All that you're just piling in containers and doing nothing with, no work, nothing, zero, is going to give you some place to start to grow come spring. It may be early spring, it might be late spring, depends on where you are. Everybody's zone is different, everybody's climate is different, everybody's microclimate is different. My climate is much different against the wall. Where the chair garden is, that's a whole different climate. In the open there, it's cool, it's breezy, but this, it gets heat. So I can trick a lot of things to grow against this wall, because even though today is cloudy, this wall is going to absorb any little bit of heat it can. And so I can cover things with plastic. You want to see something? Let's walk over here. And please excuse my camera today because, well, I've got just this little thing on me and I thought I'm going to go for it. Here is a clear shower curtain. Just clipped on, nothing more. And what is this doing? It's tricking my cucumber to grow. See all the new grows? Let's look underneath. I've got a cucumber there. Oh, and I just picked one too. And a cucumber there. And I still have flowers coming. I'm trying to hold the heat, so when it radiates at night off the wall, it's still keeping that plant a little bit warm. I mean, look at here. I've got zucchini that's trying to flower right now. Now, it's not going to do anything unless I have females, and I am not sure what this is. Nope, that's a male. But that's okay, because a female might come along, a female flower, and give me fruit. And of course, if I wanted to, I could pick that flower, bread it, fry it, or just cook it or put it in the salad, because squash flowers are edible. What I wanted to make a point on today was not about growing, because a lot of you are not growing right now, but about cleaning up your yard so you have soil of some sort ready to grow in. And you go, well, wait a minute, it's just leaves. That's what soil is. Soil is made, which some people just want to call compost, off of all the wildlife matter coming down onto the ground, whether it's bird poop, leaves, all that breaks down into soil. Now, think of vegetable plants. When they grow, their roots not necessarily go all the way down, especially in the beginning. But as they grow and the microbes get in there and you're watering it and everything, then they will spread their roots further down and get around, and by then whatever you had in your container will start to break down. Like I said, by spring this may not look like this anymore. It might look kind of, I'm going to use the word mucky, because it'll be rained on, it will start to rot down, and that will be perfect for me to take some, let's say, potting soil and just put a little bit on top and then plant. I could also go back to a tote and take from there. I can go right in here and shovel that out, already broke down, and add it to that. Now, of course, you can go on a bigger scale. You can do that in the ground too, but you can do it in a bucket. You can do it in a tote. You can do it in a flower pot. You can do it in recycled food containers. But the point is, if you get them partway filled like this is a good one. Just let this sit here and do its thing. I'd be able to add in some potting soil and think of the money I'm going to save. Good potting soil can be anywhere from $10 a bag to $50 a bag, small bags. Cheap potting soil, well, I'm a little leery of that because I got nabbed last year with some pretty bad soil. In other words, there was something in it. They don't all test because it costs thousands of dollars to test, and a lot of plants did not grow. I want my plants to grow. I don't want to go in there, plant something, and then nothing grows, and then I'm upset with myself what I do wrong. Some of you had even come to me, what did I do wrong? You probably didn't do anything wrong because it was probably the soil. So you have to be careful, and sometimes it's good to test. Put some of it in a flower pot. Throw any seeds you've got, even bird seeds. If they don't grow, as long as the bird seeds are fresh and good, then you know there's something going on. I did grow some corn in some of that soil that was no good. My corn is gone now. The stalks are there, and I will be recycling it. But how do I know the soil was no good? Because the cucumbers I planted in there just stayed kind of small. It shouldn't have stayed that small. Now, eventually that soil will break down. Microbes and everything will get in there and hopefully refurbish the soil back into good soil. But I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to be really careful on the soil I get. Off-brands, I will have to test. Now, I am not affiliated with Miracle-Gro or anybody, but just to make a point, I've never had a problem with Miracle-Gro. That's one of the cheaper soils you can buy with a name brand, and they probably do test their soil. That's a guess. That's an observation, knowing that other people are using it. My daughter uses it. So many people I know use it, and they're having terrific luck with it. So they want to make sure they keep their reputation good, so they must test their soil. A lot of your other ones, they get the compost from companies that maybe are getting, let's say, grass broken down from golf courses that are using herbicides on there. And the problem with that is it could take years for some of that to break down. And while it's not breaking down in the manner in which we need, your plants won't grow. You'll end up with these little tiny plants that just don't want to do anything. Sometimes they won't grow anything. I had some that would not grow, just wouldn't grow. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh. And when is it going to wear out? I don't know. So you either throw that out or you put it in a pile and wait till things are growing, and then you can go back and use it. You've got to be careful. So Dr. Earth is a good one. There's a lot of good ones out there. So look around and decide how much money you want to spend. And if you want to get really good soil in the spring, that's why I'm saying go ahead and collect your own matter around here. Look at the garden is falling apart right now. We're going to be going into winter in a matter of weeks. I'm going to get some squash. My onions are growing. My garlic chives are growing. Gee, I still have sugarcane over there. And popolo growing. But your squashes are done. Except for my zucchini, which I trick. And my cucumbers will be done soon. And some of the tomatoes are dying back. And you know, some of them will hang in there and come back in the spring all on their own. The beans will come back on their own. The greens are doing really good. All brassicas love this weather here. So they're doing good. Malabar spinach. Some of the tomatoes are doing okay. But what I'm trying to make a point is, when you come back out in the spring and you've started your little seedlings in the house and you want to bring them out, there's nothing better than having this ready to go, because all you have to do is put a couple inches of soil, whether you take it from a tote that you've grown in or another flower pot, or you could do both. Mix it, get some good soil, mix it with some soil you had from last year. That will give you such a great jump start. And not only that, you're going to save money, but in a good way, because your plants are going to be happy, You're going to be happy for saving money, and there's nothing wrong with it. You're not belittling your plants. You're not belittling yourself. You are saving money, and you're growing in the fashion in which Mother Nature grows. No one has fed this tree or done anything to it. Heck, we don't even water it. But it is growing from its own leaf matter, and it continues to flourish. Well, that's what you can do with your vegetable plants. You can create your own soil, create it on the bottom if you have to, and then put a small amount of soil on the top. And all that, even if it looked like this when you went to plant, in a matter of weeks will be gone. In a matter of weeks. And while it's breaking down, your plants are growing. They are just taking off like mad. It's plant food. It's everything you need to grow vegetable plants in. And yes, absolutely you can do flowers too, because I'm combining flowers in a lot of my plants. So I thought I'd just share with you what I'm doing today. I am getting back to work. I'm cleaning up some of this. Just me and a scissors, sitting down on a stool, and just going down the line until it's all done. And then I'll decide, do I want to leave the plants that are in there and then pull the soil out later? I'm not sure. Right now, I'm not going to make myself extra work because all that is still growing. I've got Swiss chard there. I do have a squash trying because it's being tricked because it's dropped down low into the tote. And then I've got some green sorrel. I will probably leave all this, and come spring, I can decide if I want to pull it out and start all over, because I'm going to have soil that I made new in buckets, as well as old soil in the totes. And then I could, if I want, top a little potting soil on the top for my new plants. So I hope I gave you some ideas on don't let those brown leaves go to waste, because that's gold for you and your plants. With that, have a great day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. That's a lot of peppers that I have to collect too and freeze. So we have them all winter long. Bye-bye. An ending note. If you end up with a bucket that you threw leaves in and it just rotted down and you forgot to put holes in it, you absolutely dump that in your containers too when you go to plant in the spring. Don't worry about it. It all goes back to the earth.